Welcome to Green Soul Yoga Flow practice. Excited to be here with you today. My name is Jenny, if you don't already know me, and this is my home studio. And today we're going to flow. If you use Spotify, you can follow me, Jenny Green, with an E at the end, and check out the Spotify playlist that you can play in the background on your additional device. So it's Flow Through is the name of the playlist today. That's kind of inspired with this practice. So as always, listen to your body. Don't overdo. Take a child's pose whenever you want. We're going to start nice and slow with mindfulness and breath. Then we're going to get moving into some slow warm-ups, start to work into our core just a little bit, and then start to flow, get some fluidity in the body, and then cool it back down with some nice stretches and a shavasana. All right? So let's go ahead and come to our mats now. And we'll just want to take an easy seated pose. I'm going to scoot on back here onto my mat. Easy seated pose, Sukhasana, like crisscross applesauce. Sit up nice and tall. Drop your shoulders down. You can have your hands just rest onto your lap, either palms down or maybe palms face up for a little bit more receptive feeling. We'll close our eyes down and take some deep breaths. Now these first few breaths may just call for a bit of a falling out. Meaning let the breath go out through the mouth a couple of times like a big sigh. And as you begin to slow the breath down, just begin to inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. And we're going to take a count of 5 on the inhale breath. So just inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold at the top for a second. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold. Begin to inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and hold. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Squeeze the navel in, push all the air out, and then release back to normal breathing. Let's take a few just natural breaths here. And even as we get moving more swiftly in our practice today, you're going to want to try to keep the breath nice and even. Good. Maybe set an intention for your practice. And just remember, we're here to practice together. Practice, not perfection. Certainly, practicing from my home with you does not offer us perfection. My family might be here, my dogs you might hear, but we're here together. It's real. We can be real together. And we'll get through this flow practice today together. Very nice. Let's just take a nice big stretch up overhead. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. Keep your shoulders low. Lift your heart. Exhale, take your fingertips down to the mat. Take your chin to your chest. Reach those fingers down into the earth. Stretch the arms. Inhale, sweep the arms up all the way. Take the chest up. Take the gaze up. Exhaling, bring the fingertips all the way down. Tuck the chin to the chest. Pull back the top of the throat 2 more times. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fingertips down, lengthen through the arms, drop the shoulders, drop the head. Good, last time. Let's hold at the bottom, chin down towards the chest, heavy head, fingertips or palms touching down to your mat. Just find your breath here. Stretch the back of the neck. Drop the shoulders. Inhale, take the gaze back forward. Keep the fingertips rooted down or the palms. And drop your head over to the right, just stretching out the neck. I always like to start with some neck stretches. Really informs us if we're holding any tension in this area, and it's good to compare it from the last day that we did it. Good, lift the head back up, go the other way, left ear towards left shoulder. And so we can see from time to time, maybe through our activity, or maybe just through daily life circumstances, if we're holding our stress differently, if we do the same stretch each time. Good. Inhale, lift the head back in line with the spine. Just going to shrug the shoulders. Nothing huge, but just see letting them start to soften up and then start to roll them back and then forward. Excellent. Go ahead and bring your hands together and then clasp the fingers together. Go ahead and start to roll out the wrists like in a figure 8 shape or an infinity shape. You might hear a little snap, crackle, pop. Go the other direction if the brain allows. Sometimes that one's a little bit tough. Good. Keep those fingers clasped together. Stop. Inhale, open the palms towards the front and reach up nice and tall. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Keep your shoulders kind of open and then pull the fingers apart, but don't let go. Good. Inhale and then exhale, just leaning to your right a bit. Stretch out the side body. And inhale, come back to center. Lean to the left. Stretch out the left side body. Compress through the fingers a little bit more, through the palms a bit more. Come on back to your center. And exhale, take your hands down to the mat. All right, let's move on to our hands and knees now. So you're coming to a tabletop position on your hands and knees. Good, I'll be joining you there in just 1 second. Excellent. So when we come to our hands and knees, we want our wrists under our shoulders, our knees under our hips. Find a flat back. We're going to start to warm up those hips just a little bit by circling the hips around. Doesn't matter which way you begin. And then just start to grow the circles out a little bit bigger each time. Good. And just start to take note how the body's feeling here, how those hips feel, glutes. Notice if there's any areas of soreness, or if you feel a little stuck, let's go the other direction. And start to just feel the navel engaging in towards the spine. So we're finding that first little bit of core engagement here. Good, just growing the movement a little bit more. And then coming back to our center. Take the right leg back behind us. Now we want our toes facing the floor, if you can see that. And then we want our heel facing the ceiling. Take the left arm out, so we've got a bit of tabletop balance here. And just try to keep that navel tucked in towards the spine. Good, breathe here. Good. Now move the right leg to the right, the left arm to the left, and kind of make this diagonal stretch. Hold. Keep your drishti, your gaze to the floor. Bring it all the way back to center. Reach between the fingertips and the heel. Drop the left hand down and kick the right heel up. So bend the right knee. And we're looking for a little press here, just warming up the glutes. About 5 presses. Nice job. Keep breathing. Good. Hold up like you're going to push your footprint up into the ceiling. Good. And then exhale. Round your spine. Bring the knee in towards the nose. Inhale, straighten out, lengthen, crown of head reaches away from the heel. Exhale, round the spine, knee to nose. Good, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round the spine. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round the spine. Last one. Very nice. Come back to knee down. We're in tabletop position. Take a breath. Notice the shoulder blades rolling gently apart, your fingers gripping the mat. Keeping the navel engaged. Let's take the left leg out behind us. Good. Start here, just kind of pushing out through the heel. Reach your right fingertips nice and long. Keep the tailbone pulling away from crown of head. Find balance here, gazing down towards the floor, not craning the neck. Take a nice stretch, right arm to the right, left leg to the left. Hold this diagonal stretch for a moment. Good, bring it all the way back to the center. Good, keep the leg out, bring the arm down. Begin to bend the knee and start to kick that heel towards the ceiling. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it up. Press, press, press. Glute activation. Shoulders still strong. Navel still engaged. Exhale, round the spine. Chin towards the chest. Nose towards the knee. Inhale, lengthen out. Good. Keep moving. Let's take 2 more. We start to feel the back body warming, the core warming up, getting ready for our flow today. Come back to tabletop position. Just kind of wag the tail, drop the hips from side to side, how much ever that feels good to you. Coming back to our center, we'll take a few rounds of cat-cow here. We'll take an inhale breath, let the belly sweep low while keeping it toned. Open up through the sit bones, chest pulls through, and the gaze will come up. Now we're going to exhale, round the spine, chin towards the chest, kind of tuck the tailbone down and press away from your mat a little bit. Inhale, call it sway back cow, and exhale, round the spine, cat pose. Let's keep moving. Find a movement that matches your breath. One of the things I love about flow practice is matching the movements and the breath and just feeling so free to move. And so if there's things that you'd like to do to make this practice your own today, feel free. Good, let's take 2 more rounds, full rounds, cat and cow. Good. After this next cat pose, just hold in cat. So we have a rounded spine, fingertips pressing into the mat. The crown of the head's kind of pointing down towards the earth, and my gaze is back between my legs. Curl all 10 toes under, and keep the spine rounded, and just find a little core engagement, and lift the knees just a few inches, and hover here. Good. Breathe. Press away from your mat with your hands in your toes. Good. Drop those knees down. Uncurl the toes. Tops of feet touch the mat. Set all the way back. Child's pose and breathe here. This pose is really nice. Break whenever the practice might get a little too much or when our mind might get a little too busy. We can just simply settle our way down into a child's pose. Take a few breaths and then rejoin into the practice when we're ready. And just take a few more breaths here, nice and easy. Great job, guys. Bring yourself up towards tabletop. I'm going to walk my hands so that my palms are just right underneath those shoulders like we talked about. And then kick my feet back. I'm on my toes, coming up into a plank pose. Draw the belly in, draw the bum under, and breathe. Good. Let's take and just do little touchdowns. Right knee touches down, lift. Left knee touches down, lift. We start to feel that core engage. Keep moving. Breathe. Little touchdowns. They barely touch, guys. Don't crash those gentle touches. Don't crash those knees in. That won't feel good. All right, last one. Keep the right knee down. Take the left knee down. And then take the elbows back. And slowly bring your body down to the mat. And as you do, just drop those feet into the mat. So now we're laying on our bellies. Pull the elbows down and back and find a little bit of a backwards motion in the hands so they're more close to your chest here. Press your left leg, your torso into the mat, and inhale, take your right leg up off the mat. Sweep the right toes back, lengthen, and then exhale them down. Let's do the other side. Keep the right leg down. Inhale, sweep the left leg up, lengthen the toes towards the back of the mat, and then press the foot and leg down. Now on the next inhale breath, rise the head, rise the chest. Just a little bit for a little baby cobra here. Take a little tuck in the back of the throat to bring yourself to a slight forward gaze. Good. Pressing pelvis down, continuing to breathe. Squeeze your glutes just a little bit and lift your fingertips off of the mat. Good. Find that breath. Last breath here. Squeezing the back side of the body. Press the hands back down to the earth. Lower your forehead down. Curl all 10 toes underneath you here. Press your hands deeply into the mat. Press away from the mat and raise yourself up to downward facing dog. So here I'm going to have kind of this inverted V sort of shape. Keep your elbows soft and your knees not locked. Want to lift up through the sit bones and the hips. Pull your heart back. Press your heels down. Just begin to gently walk your dog here. Fingertips pressing into the mat. Maybe even that shape of an L or backwards L that your pointer finger and thumb creates. You can give a little pressure into there as well. Feel the length in your arms. Stretch your neck by letting your head dangle down here nice and relaxed. Stretch your hamstrings by this little walk that we're doing, bending one knee and then the other. Beautiful work. Let's find some stillness here. Just find down dog, lengthening legs and spine. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Breathe. Nice work, guys. We're going to step forward, top of the mat. Take a forward fold. First fold, so take as much bend in your knees as you prefer. And then begin to really think about tucking this belly in and then leaning, hinging forward such that as though my front body could touch the front of my legs here, like I'm a piece of paper just folding in half is how I think of it. Don't overdo on your first fold. We'll have several forward folds, so each fold just go a little deeper if you can, eventually getting to where maybe the legs are really straight, just without locking the knees, slight micro bend. If you can't touch the floor, maybe some blocks if you have those at home, okay? Good. Let's take one more breath. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way out and up. Come up to stand nice and tall. Reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, press the feet in, get tall, keep the belly engaged, reach up. Exhale, arms fly out, swan diving down, and then inhale, lifting Urdhva Hastasana all the way up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, this time fingertips to your shins, rise halfway, and bring the shoulders away from the ears. Looking for that flat back again, belly lifting, and breathe. Keep the knees just microscopically bent. Good, we're going to take an exhale, fold down, place our hands back to the mat, step our way back to plank pose. This is like the top of a push-up. You're welcome to use your knees to get down to the floor again, or maybe just come to a hover at about 90 degrees here. And then inhale up into an up dog or back to cobra. So the difference is the up dog has my legs off of the mat, just pressing into the tops of the feet here. My heart is pulled a little bit more through. Now on your final exhale here, go ahead and just round your way all the way back in downward facing dog. So just curl up over those toes a bit. Down dog, breathe here. Good, let's just practice doing a few little step throughs here and warming up our muscles for step throughs. So we're going to inhale, sweep the right leg up into the air. Look forward, Bend the right knee, pull your weight forward like you would for a plank, and then put your foot down. Wherever it comes to is just fine. And then press into the mat, lift it back up. Do 3 more, and each time just see if maybe you can come up a little further. Now, I like to bring my right fingertips up when I'm stepping my right foot through. It gives me some space. Good. Let's stop here at this one. Into like a runner's lunge. Pull your right hip back and left hip forward so that both hip bones square up to the front of the mat. Reach long through the crown of the head and out through your back left heel. And breathe. Just fingertips to the mat. If they don't quite touch, I'm going to recommend some blocks right here to just bring the floor up to you. All right, hands all the way down to the mat as we take that right leg back into the air. 3-legged dog, squared hips, squared shoulders to the mat. Drop the right leg down. Good, take 2 breaths. Good, let's do step throughs here. Just warming up, left leg lifts in the air. Bend the left knee, pull that weight forward, and just kind of drop the foot in a little bit, and then push back up. 3-legged dog, pull it back through, go a little further if you can. 3-legged dog, last one here, and then we'll hold. Now, if you didn't get all the way up that time, just assist your foot to come up. Maybe just wiggle around your mat a little bit. You can use your left hand, and then hold here. But maybe if vinyasa flows and step throughs are still a little much for you, you could go to our gentle class. Start out there, strengthen a little bit, get a little flexibility, and then come in and pop into these flow classes. Last breath. Good, hands down, and left leg into the air, 3-legged dog. Good, let's take left foot down to meet the right, downward facing dog, and slow lower the heels. Good. On your inhale, pike your hips up now, and your way up on your toes. The heels lift up. Exhale, drop those heels down. Keep rolling the shoulder blades apart. Inhale, pike up. Exhale, lower the heels. One more time. Inhale, pike up. Exhale, lower the heels. This one is a change. Inhale, pike up. Bend the knees. Keep the hips high. Hold here, heart back towards the knees. And straighten the legs. Heels down. One more time. Inhale, pike up. Bend those knees. Keep the hips high, heart back. And lift. Drop the heels. Walk forward. Forward fold. Grab opposite elbows with opposite hand here. So we're just going to find a little weight to help us out into our fold. Then dangle your head in between your arms such that you're looking like your head is upside down in a picture frame here. Your arms being the picture frame. Engage your core, navel towards the spine, and just begin to slowly pull yourself from side to side. Just the upper body moving here. It can be just a small little movement. Nice work. Find your center. Lift your hips. Don't lock the knees. Drop the hands. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up overhead. Get tall and take a back bend. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise halfway. And exhale, take your right leg back behind you. Now, squaring our hips. So my hip bones are right here towards the top of my mat, not one sweeping off in any direction. Whoops. See, it's real. It's real. All right. Gotta learn to laugh at ourselves a little bit, so I throw my balance off when I look to you guys. Now let's take crescent lunge. So we'll take the arms up overhead, and then exhale, just kind of sitting down into it. You can wiggle your foot back a little bit if you need more space, but make sure your hips stay squared. Good, I love a crescent lunge. I just feel that strength. Think about kind of drawing energy up from the earth here into your body while reaching towards the sky. Nice. Exhale, take your hands to the mat. Take your left leg, kick it back into the air, 3-legged dog. Good, send your heart back, breathe. Step your left foot down, down dog. Good, now we're going to bend those knees, keep the hips high. Now you can walk your way back to the top of the mat, or maybe take just a little hop in which you're going to put some weight into the hands here. Keep your hips high, navel engaged, and just kind of quietly hop your way up. Floating to the top of the mat, forward fold, or stepping forward fold. Good. Spread your feet just a little bit more so they're definitely hip distance apart, maybe even slightly further, but not by much. Grab the opposite elbows. Yeah, here we are again. Keep sure that your knees have just a little bend, start to flow from side to side. This time just a little bit more, so it might be a little bit like a pendulum, and we're finding a little lift using our core here. Good, just breathe, swing it side to side. Good. How about one each direction all the way around? Lift and around. Good, swing side to side. And other direction, lift and around. All right, nice job. Hang out here, slow it down. Drop the hands down. Work the feet back in, hip distance apart. About 1 footprint maybe in between the feet, so you might be closer than that. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise halfway. Exhale, hands to the mat. Left leg's gonna step back. Nice work, square the hips. Inhale, crescent lunge, shoulders down the back. Lifting a little bit on the back thigh, pressing out through the back heel, strengthening here, finding some balance in the body. Enjoy the breath. Good, evening out the breath. Excellent. Exhale, hands to the mat. Pushing the right foot back and all the way into the air. Three-legged dog, send that heart back. Nice job. Exhale, take the right foot down. Downward facing dog. Good. Pressing our weight forward into that plank pose, going through a vinyasa. You can use knees or no knees, chaturanga. Up dog or cobra, your choice about those legs on the mat. Exhale, let's meet in downward facing dog. If you ever want to skip that flow, if modified even gets to be a little much, you can just hang out in a beautiful down dog or a good place for a child's pose. Let's breathe. I'm going to spread my feet just a little wider here, so go ahead and take a step out with each foot, or to the right and to the left respectively, into a wide-legged downward facing dog. Press into the left hand. Send your right hand off the mat, back onto your left thigh or onto the left calf. Good. Release that right hand down, downward facing dog with wide legs, and do the other side. So we want to avoid pulling on the knee here. So go below or above the knee, maybe even looking more under the armpit here as you come. Nice work. Hands back. Good. Wide-legged down dog. Step your right foot outside of your right hand. Step it back. Left foot outside the left hand. Step it back. Good, like we would for lizard. 2 more. Right foot, back. Left foot, back. 1 more each side. Good, I like to add a little strength into my flows. Good, downward facing dog. Nice job. Breathe. Step forward. Forward fold. Good. Begin to bend the knees here in your forward fold. So we're going to send those hips down a bit. Keep the knees pulled back. Swipe the arms behind you and see if you can grab your opposite elbow. If not, maybe just on somewhere on the arm or even the wrist. We want to be just up from the knees and then press your way into straight legs or as close as you can get. Good. Now find an exhale breath. Lower down like you're kind of sitting onto your arms. And then lift your hips. Excellent. Let's do 1 more. Keep the knees pulled back. Good. Lift up. Release the hands. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise halfway. Exhale, hands to the mat, right foot steps back once again. Drop your right heel down to the left. So I'm paralleling the right foot to the back edge of the mat. Gonna work my left knee over my left ankle and kind of out towards my left pinky toe. On the inhale breath, sweep your right arm back and your left arm forward for Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. We're looking for the heel at the front and the back arch to align here. We'll just find some breath. Good. Sweep the arms up overhead. Right hand grabs left wrist. Reach back. Reverse warrior. Inhale. Come back to warrior two. Nice work. Pinwheel those hands all the way down to the floor. Turn your right toes back forward. Left leg up. Three-legged dog. Downward facing dog. Left foot to the floor. Breathe. Come up onto those toes, bend the knees, pike the hips up, unless you're going to step. And then just take a step forward. Take a little hop to the top of the mat. Good. Fold in. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise halfway. Exhale, hands down, left foot down to behind us. Stepping left foot back, left heel drops to right. Look for that warrior two positioning here, guys. Check out your front knee. Don't let it fall in towards your big toe. Inhale, spiral your way up. Hips turn towards the left edge of the mat. Now, I don't want to lean too far forward. I don't want to lean too far back right here. I'm just going to try to find a centeredness. Tuck the left glute under just a little bit. Keep breathing. Look over your front fingertips. Straighten the arms up overhead. Grab that right wrist with your left hand and stretch away from your right hip, reaching up and back. Excellent. Return to Virabhadrasana 2. And then cartwheel your hands all the way down to the floor. Good. Turn your left toes forward. Sweep the right foot back. Three-legged dog. Excellent. Drop the right foot down. And breathe. Downward facing dog. Excellent. Let's take one more breath here. Beautiful. Step your way forward, top of the mat, forward fold. Always an option to hop. I just kind of mix it up, whether I want to walk or hop my way forward. Not trying to overdo, just trying to get enough out of the practice. Just right. Good. Let's take a slow roll this time to standing. Just kind of letting your head and arms dangle down. As you come up, tuck the belly in. Bringing the shoulders over the hips, the ears over the shoulders, standing mountain pose. Take a few breaths here. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up overhead. Step into your left foot really firmly and just begin to lift your right foot up into the air. Bring the arms down on an exhale and grab the leg and hug it in. Stand up tall. Breathe. Point and flex the right foot around it in a circle. Move your right knee gently to the right, and then just reach down with your right peace fingers and see if you can find your big toe. Stand up tall. Bring your left hand onto your hip to begin. Good. Feel that rooting down of your left foot, maybe a little wiggle in the ankle. Begin to straighten through your right leg. You don't have to come all the way straight, but you can. Good, and then inhale, bring the left arm up overhead. Reach nice and tall, so like you're a big line from your left foot up to your left fingertips, and keep breathing. Good, bend that right knee in, and bring the right foot to rest on the left thigh. Make kind of a little figure four shape. Bring your hands to heart center, sinking down as though we're sitting into a chair, keeping the left leg pulling back, keeping the heart lifted. Balance here and breathe. Good. Don't worry if you fall out of the pose. You can always come back in. Press into the left foot. Root it down to rise yourself back up. Release the hands. Gently pull the right knee back towards forward. And then step the right foot down to standing mountain pose. Stand tall. Take a few breaths. Maybe the breath got a little bit shallower because we're using big muscles. Very good. Nice. Sweep the arms up overhead. Press into the right foot. lift up your right arch a little bit. Begin to just find that balance, lifting the left leg up. Know that one side is always a little bit more steady than the other. This is okay. Bring your left knee in a bit deeper with this hold. Steady. Keep your right hip pulled in, your shoulders fairly soft. Keep breathing. Shift the left knee to the left a little bit, opening up through the hip. Guide your left fingertips to your peace toes and your right hand to your hip. Begin to straighten as much as you can, to whatever degree you can, your left leg out. Hand to big toe pose. Lift the right arm up into the air. Find your breath. You can open up a little bit more if you prefer. Your gaze to the floor might help. Good. Let's go ahead, draw that foot in and over. If you need a little touch down, that's perfect. Go ahead and find, not on the knee, but above the knee. Ankle to the foot. Now what if it slides down? Really press in. So you're going to push the ankle into the thigh and the thigh into the ankle. That's how you get that slide to quit. Then sit down and back. Good. Press your hips down and back. Tailbone down. Belly in. Nice work, guys. Root to rise, stand back up nice and tall. Release gently that left knee around, stand up tall, and bring your hands here at heart center for Samastitihi. I'm going to have you close your eyes down. Now, if that's not going to work for you, that's okay. Take your eyes half closed and stare to the floor, one or the other. Say a little gratitude, a little thank you for any balance that you just created in your body. Carry that balance off the mat into your life. And if you felt a little out of balance, that's okay too. That's why we're here. Practicing. Not perfecting, just practicing. One more breath. Nice work, guys. Take an inhale breath. Sweep the arms back up overhead. Exhale, sit down into chair pose, Utkatasana. Both feet are still rooted, heart is still lifted. And we just activate through the thighs, through the glutes, through the core here a bit. Good. Sink the hands, lift the hips, go into a forward fold. Deeper fold this time than maybe you've had even yet. Pushing both hands down to the mat. Step one leg and then the other back and find downward facing dog. Inhale, reach your right leg up into the air. Find a big stretch now. Really pull the heart back. Really lengthen through that right heel. And then begin to rotate your belly button, your navel over to the right edge of your mat, looking under your right armpit. And then as you stack your right hip over your left, bend your right knee. Very good. Nice little fun thing we're going to do here. We're going to pull back towards three-legged dog. So square your hips, square your shoulders, and then pull through. Right knee behind the right wrist, right ankle behind the left wrist. Sit down into pigeon pose for just 2 breaths. So I've got my left leg stretched behind me, left thigh on the mat, pelvis is level, and right away. Curl the toes, strengthen the shoulders, engage the core, lift it up. Three-legged dog. Exhale, pull it back through. Set it down, pigeon pose. Uncurl your back foot for 2 breaths. Hands grip the mat, toes curl under, and lift it up. Right leg in the air, three-legged dog. Nice job. Step that right foot all the way through. Good, and then find your crescent lunge. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Hands will come to heart center here, and then rotate to the right, and then gently hinge forward, right hip back, keeping it squared. Good, breathe. Inhale, come up and unwind. Exhale, hands down to the mat. Kick the right leg back up. Three-legged dog. Drop the right foot down, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg into the air. Begin to look the navel to the left, bend the left knee, look under the left armpit just a bit here. Stretching out through your hip flexor, through the quad. Still engaging the glute. Come back, three-legged dog. Let's work towards a pigeon here. Left foot comes through. Now left shin can parallel the front of the mat, or the left heel can drop in just a little closer to right hip flexor. Slow lower down onto that right thigh. Keep the hips nice and level. Breathe 2 breaths here. Make sure your right leg is straight behind you. Curl right toes under. Inhale, press into the mat. Three-legged dog, left leg into the air. 1 breath. Here we go again. Send it back up through into our pigeon. Unwind. Good. Our shoulders stay in place. Our chest stays lifted. Good. Lift it up. Three-legged dog. Step the left foot all the way through. Good. Square your hips. Left knee over left ankle. Inhale, crescent lunge. And when you arrive, exhale, hands to heart center. Breathe. Start at your low belly. Start at the low spine. Torso turning towards the left and then hinging our way forward. Right back of the arm touching down onto the left thigh while the left elbow goes skyward. Lengthen out through your spine. Don't collapse here. Stay strong. Inhale, lift up and unwind. Good. Inhale the arms up. Exhale the hands down. Left foot reaches up and back. Three-legged dog. Both feet touch down to the floor. Downward facing dog. Vinyasa. Come through plank. Chaturanga. Start to use the knees if you'd like. I'm going to take a cobra this time instead of up dog. So you can start to modify some of the poses. And then we'll meet in downward facing dog. Good. Just start to walk your dog again here like you did in the beginning, but just notice how different it feels now. We're so warm. The body has more blood flow. We feel more free. Step or hop your way to the top of the mat, forward fold. Good. Breathe here. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up, get nice and tall. Exhale, standing mountain pose, hands down to your sides. Good. Once you have a little freedom here, take your feet just about hip distance apart or slightly more. We're just going to have some fun, just pretending like we're about 4 years old and we're so happy. And we're just going to begin to just let our upper body swing. Just swing the arms side to side. Good. Now if you can, you're going to come to a bit of like letting the arms kind of hit the back gently here at the kidney area, just releasing maybe a little bit of toxicity out of there, just activating those kidneys a little bit. Good. Just have fun, let it go, be loose with it. Take a couple more. It's okay to be silly every now and then. Brings us joy. Let go of some of the tension. Come back to your center and just wiggle it all out. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Yeah, good. Feet back together, top of the mat. Inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise halfway. And exhale, hands to the mat. Step back, plank pose. Good. Just hold here. Excellent. I like to bring a little strength into the flow. So we're going to move on down to the elbows. Right elbow down, right forearm down, left down, forearm plank. Breathe. 3, 2, 1. Move the right toes out to the right. Touch down. 3, 2, 1. Bring them back in. Move the left toes out. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Bring them back in. And left hand roots, right hand lifts. Okay, we're back in plank. Breathe. Inhale, downward facing dog. One more round like that. Plank pose. Left arm down. Right arm down. Keep your bum out of the air as much as possible. Left foot to the left. Toes touch down. 3, 2, 1. Bring it back. Switch it out. Right foot. 3, 2, 1. Bring it back. Ooh, right hand. Left hand, find your plank, Lift your hips, downward facing dog, nice job. Going to do an easy step through now. So we'll drop the left knee. This might be good to remember if you're newer to flow, and come up onto the fingertips, work your right foot through. This is a nice way to do a step through. Now we're gonna leave our left knee down, but if we were in a regular flow, I could just pick it up here. See, nice little trick. Okay, so we're in low lunge. We're leaving that left knee down. Just sweep the hips back, keep them equal, and lift your right toes. Now I don't want to come to sit all the way back. What I'd like to find is this tension and tug here between my equal hips pressing back and my head pressing forward and my toes lifting and my heel energy pressing out through the heel. So I've got this big stretch, half splits. Good, find your breath. Keep your teeth away from clenching. Keep your shoulders away from getting too up by the ears. We just want to be soft where we can, stretchy where we can, solid where we need. Good, now step that right foot all the way back down to your mat, and then just begin to heel toe it over towards the left edge of the mat a little bit. Come up off of that back knee and press it back, and then sweep everything down nice and gently into that pigeon pose. Now if you find you rolled too far to the right, you might need to just adjust a little bit. All right, very good. And then go ahead and come down to your forearms, or if you have a block, you can place your forearms on a block, or you can bring your head all the way down to the mat. We're going to take a few breaths here. Press deeply into the mat with that left thigh. Flex your right foot. Soften the shoulders. Excellent work. We're going to take an inhale breath. Start to take the gaze up just a little bit. Press into the hands and bring them back onto the mat as you lift your heart. Reach up and away from the hips just a little bit. Nice work. Curl your left toes under and begin to just lift the left knee and slide back to downward facing dog. Right foot will reach back to down dog. Let's bring the right knee down. Maybe up onto those fingertips that look like little tents now, and then step the left foot through. Now we're going to want to square up those hips first, and then glide those hips equally back. So you want to really focus on that left hip, kind of pulling back. Lift the left toes, and find that sweet spot where you're getting just enough tug. Keep the toes lifting, thinking crown of head forward, left hip back. You should still be able to smile. I always say, you need to be able to smile in your practice. That's how you know you haven't went too far yet. Good. And then we'll bring the left foot back down to the mat. We'll take a bit of a heel toe action over to the right. Maybe even a little bit back towards you if that flexibility is needed here. And then dropping onto the outer left leg and the upper right thigh for pigeon pose. Good, just square up a little bit here and think of your pelvis like a punch bowl. Don't tilt it too far one way or the other. We don't want to spill our punch. And then exhale. Keep your spine long here as you lower down into the sleepy version of the pigeon. And just find your breath. Relax where you can, but try to make sure you're breathing into where you might feel just a little stuck. See how much you can let go here. Couple more breaths. Nice work. We're going to inhale back onto those hands. Curl the right toes under. Slide our way up off the mat a bit, and then left foot steps back, downward facing dog. Draw the navel towards the spine, lower through the heels, broaden through the shoulders, soften your knees and elbows, relax your neck. Nice work today, guys. Go ahead, lower on down to those knees. Take the hips all the way back towards the heels, child's pose. Soften in. Find your breath, re-engage with your intention. Bring it back to your mind. Feel the seed of your intention being planted in the warm soil of your heart. Inhale and bring yourself to standing right up on those knees and shins, tops of the feet into the mat. Steady your shoulders over the hips. Take your gaze forward, almost like standing mountain pose from the knees. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up overhead. Exhale, take the fingertips down behind the back. Stretch open through the heart. Send your knuckles down towards the earth as you place your shoulder blades onto your back. Now lift up with an inhale through your heart. Lift the gaze. Bring it back. Shoulders over the hips. Release the hands. Inhale. Sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale. Kind of the butts of the palms here, right at the sacrum, or the heels of the palms, right at the sacrum. Thumbs and fingers pointing down now. This gives us a little support to lean back into now. Doesn't have to be anything big, but bring the elbows together, more shoulders onto the back. Inhale, reach the heart up, 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 and the head back. Now if that's too much for the neck, try not to go anywhere in between. Otherwise, we just take our gaze still down to the floor while we lean back into the pose. If you're so inclined to reach back and come into full camel, just finding the heels, lifting the heart. I hope my headset doesn't fall off. Good, breathe. Work the hands back to the low back. If you took the full pose, lift back up. And then slow, lower down, back to child's pose. Hands to the mat. Gently round the spine here. A little counter pose. Inhale to the hands and knees, tabletop. Hold for a breath. Exhale, round the spine as deeply as you can. Tuck your tail, chin towards your chest. Keep breathing. Good. Walk the knees forward a bit here. Cross the feet. If you can, just sit down behind them. Bringing the feet back out in front of you. Good. Bring the hands out in front of you. So we're in a setup for boat pose. You can either take your hands to your thighs or straight out. Now, if you have injury to your tailbone, like I do, you might not be able to fully do a full boat pose. So you could just hold here and then start to reach one leg out and then the other. You could grab here and work behind your tailbone just a little bit so it's a little adjusted boat pose. If you have no injuries, yay, go for the full thing. I'm going to reach back just a little bit behind my tailbone here. Lift up the legs. Good. And just hold, keeping my heart as high as I can. Keeping my back as straight as I can. For those of you who are able, you can let go. Look up over your toes. Keep breathing. Good. Bend the knees. Lift up. And wrap the arms around the legs. Give yourself a great big hug. Chin towards chest. Nice work. So that boat pose is so good for your abdominals and your core strength, but I understand, I have injury too. I know how difficult that one can be. If you've ever taken a hard fall, that can stay with you. So work around it, navigate around it. We learn how to modify our practice in yoga. Good, just open the knees up, soles of the feet together here, and begin to hinge forward. Keeping a long spine as much as you can. There can be a small rounding, but we're not trying to over round in the back here. Just a little natural round in the spine. And then breathe the crown of the head forward and the knees down, Baddha Konasana. If the hips feel like they're a little clenched today, go ahead and just speak to the hips quietly in your mind. Say release, let go, it's okay. Whatever you need to encourage a little bit more relaxation deep down into those muscles and tissues and ligaments. Maybe a sighing out breath. Inhale, sit up nice and tall, bring those feet back together, and let's go ahead and roll ourselves all the way down the mat. Take the knees into the chest and rock around. Massage out the back and the spine, back muscles. Nice work today in this flow, you guys. Take one foot down to the mat and then the other. Reach your arms out to the sides and then gently drop the knees from side to side. So currently Green Soul Yoga Online, we offer gentler yoga, flow class, chair yoga, and pop-ups of all sorts. So please keep popping in and enjoying your practice with me. Thank you so much. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Come back to center. Now let's take it to our final resting pose. Shavasana. If you need any props or a blanket, go ahead and grab those now. Otherwise, we're just going to lay out on our mats. Open up. Take up some space in your room, wherever you're at. Wiggle around until you're nice and comfy. Maybe you need to straighten the clothing, that's okay. Good, we should all be coming to a stillness now. Just close the eyes. Soften down into the mat. Imagine you're on a big fluffy cloud. It won't let you sink all the way through, but it'll let you sink down into its depths. You feel protected, surrounded, loved, surrounded by love. And a hush and a peace begins to descend into your mind and into your body and into your spirit. And as you sink in, you feel like your body's just getting heavier on the back side and lighter on the front side. Support and grounding of the earth holding us up. The lightness and hope of the air representing life surrounding us. Take a few moments to just back away from all your thoughts. Let them just float at the periphery or even push them all the way out. Just for a moment, just for silence in the mind. Watch the breath. may continue to rest in your Shavasana if you would like. You may begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes and just bring a little life back to the body. Deep inhale, deep exhale. And we'll just slowly begin to move our bodies. Draw the knees in a little bit and move on to your right side to the fetal position. Take a few breaths here. Begin to lengthen the top left leg out. Press into your left hand. Flip that left leg around so you can come back to sit in Sukhasana, easy seated pose, or half lotus, whichever would serve you best, or full lotus, if that's within your practice. Grow tall. And I'd like to share with you just a little blessing that I wrote to leave you with hope and joy, hopefully, as you come off of your mat today. So we'll bring our hands as our last act of our practice into Anjali Mudra at Heart Center. Close the eyes down and breathe. May you see clearly and hear only truth. May you give freely and hold only hope. May you love without boundaries and live without limits. May you know who you are and rest in that peace. May you recognize the light in you and that it is also in me. May we come together in unity and heal and prosper as one. Namaste.